When I had an argument with my childhood sweetheart, she got so angry that she slapped me in front of everyone. That day, I deleted all her contact information. Everyone was in disbelief. Ellie and I grew up together. I have liked her since I was a child and have been chasing after her for 9 years. Why, Brian? Just because of that slap? She asked blankly. Yes, just because of that slap, I said very solemnly. When Ellie slapped me in the face, I didn't even react to what had happened. With a dull snap, I staggered. My head was buzzing. My left cheek was hot at first, and then it was burning like fire. I covered my face and looked at her blankly. My childhood sweetheart, Ellie, slapped me in public when I had an argument with the transfer student. Ellie realized what she had done and her expression froze for a moment, but was soon covered by anger and impatience. Can you please stop making trouble here? Brian, go back to your seat. Someone in the class sneered softly, and more people watched this good show in silence. Nathan stood beside Ellie, playing with his pen, and sighed, Hey, Ellie, what are you doing? Don't you see that your little follower is about to cry? Ellie's voice became even colder after hearing this. Brian, if you want to cry, go back home and cry. This is a school, not a place for you to have an attack anytime and anywhere. In the mixture of shame, grievance, and resentment, big tears burst out of my eyes. Amid the laughter of the girls, I rushed out of the classroom. I didn't know where to go, but I didn't want to go to class anymore, and I didn't want to stay and face the group of people in the classroom. In fact, Ellie has never had patience with me, but being slapped by her is really the first time. Not only that, this is the first time I have been slapped in the face since I grew up. Ellie and I are childhood sweethearts. We have known each other since we were 3 years old. Her parents and my parents have been good friends for more than 10 years. We live on the same floor and opposite each other. I have liked Ellie since I was a child. When I was in elementary school, I was always bullied by other girls. There was a girl who was the worst. She sat in the back seat, pulled my hair, and put chewing gum on my chair. Gradually, Ellie softened her heart and was no longer so repulsive to me. I noticed more and more that her gaze on me stayed longer. When she made eye contact with me, she would sometimes be absent-minded, and sometimes she would act as if she was electrocuted. She would stammer and change the subject with a flushed cheek. Uncle Ellie said, since the 2 children have such a good relationship, why not arrange a baby marriage for them? Ellie didn't say anything, but held my hand tightly. I saw her ears turn red, and my heart was sweet. I said loudly, okay, I want to marry Sister Ellie. However, when I entered high school, everything began to change. At the end of the first semester of the first year of high school, a transfer student came to our class. The transfer student's name was Nathan. I heard that he transferred because of his parents' work transfer. He had good grades and a handsome face. On his first day here, he had chestnut curly hair, and he smiled and said to the head teacher, Teacher, this is natural. My hair color is light, and it's naturally curly. Then he turned his head and scanned our class. When he saw me, he stopped, stared at me for a while, and suddenly laughed. Oh my God, where did this country prince come from? Ha 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 ha, his whole body is blue. Oh my God. You're already in high school. Are you trying to be cool? It's so embarrassing. The whole class's eyes followed him to me. My face turned red on the spot. I like blue, especially blue. Almost everything I buy is blue school bag, blue teacup, blue hairpin, blue short-sleeved shirt, blue sweater, blue phone case, and even the pendants have to be blue. Because of these, I have been talked about a lot. In elementary school, girls said I was sick, and boys said I was pretending to be cute. But most people are very good. More boys would tell me that I am super cute and blue suits me especially. It was the first time that I was laughed at in public so bluntly and without any concealment. I was confused and ashamed. For a moment, I wanted to find a hole in the ground to crawl into. Ha 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 ha, sorry, I am a bit straightforward. Don't be angry, little prince. Seeing this, Nathan winked playfully and said, okay, it's your first day here, so say less. At this time, Ellie's impatient voice rang out. I turned around, only to see Ellie frowning and looking at Nathan with displeasure. Nathan raised his eyebrows and stared at Ellie. Oh, the prince's guardian princess is here. What are you talking about? Are you sick? Ellie got angry and slammed the table. The teacher scolded her immediately and asked her to sit down. Then Nathan was arranged to sit in an empty seat. I don't know if it was a coincidence, but the only empty seat in the class was the seat in front of Ellie. So they became the front and back desks. I don't know when Ellie and he became close. It was just one day, very suddenly. Uncle Ellie asked her to bring me strawberry milk every morning. She changed it to pure milk. I hate pure milk the most. Don't you know? Staring at the box of pure milk in my hand, I was a little unhappy. Okay, isn't it because the strawberry milk box is blue? You are so old and still drink it every day. What does strawberry milk look like? Drink pure milk in the future. It's healthy. Ellie patted my head. Nathan also had a box of pure milk in his hand. Hearing this, he turned his head and smiled as if embarrassed. Sorry, little prince. I like pure milk, so I let Ellie bring this. However, strawberry milk is too sweet. It's really greasy. Do little princes like you like to drink this? I put down the milk, frowned, and looked at him. Do you like to give people nicknames? He froze, then his face showed surprise and helplessness. Huh, why are you saying it so seriously? I was just joking. You are too sensitive. Oh my God, am I sensitive or are you guilty? You know it in your heart. Okay, Brian. Ellie stopped us and looked like she had a headache. Nathan sometimes speaks without thinking. Don't take it to heart. I was so angry that my eyes turned red. I pushed Ellie hard and didn't forget to scold Nathan. If you can't speak, don't speak. Ellie was startled and quickly put her arms around my waist. Without thinking, she said, okay, I was wrong. Don't be angry. Can I bring you strawberry tomorrow? Seeing this, Nathan's face changed and he stared at me. From the next day, Nathan started to target me. I took out the blue packaged tissue. He shouted, wow, you have to use blue. Are you trying to package yourself as Avatar? During the general cleaning, I wiped the broom handle with wet tissue. He winked at the girls, the prince's disease is here. Change seats every 2 weeks. I'm tired of moving tables and want to rest for a while. Nathan shouted in class that the prince couldn't move anymore and asked for servants to help him move. Whenever this happened, the boys who played well with him would cheer him on and seemed to find it very interesting. They laughed happier and happier. Ellie thought it was inappropriate at first and tried to stop him, but Nathan said nonchalantly that it was just a joke. Brian seemed too reserved at ordinary times. I was helping him get along well with his classmates. Hearing this, Ellie nodded thoughtfully. Brian has a bit of Prince syndrome. Are all boys nowadays like this? Nathan hit her shoulder and said, hey, I'm not a good person, am I? Don't confuse me with them. Ellie smiled. I felt sour in my heart. In fact, Ellie thought I was delicate and had a bad temper. I have always known that for most girls, liking blue, having misophobia, and being weak are probably signs of Prince syndrome. Finally, one time, I couldn't help it. During the summer vacation of that semester, I went to the beach with my parents and my skin got a lot of tan. In fact, this happened a few times before. Usually, as long as I went home and stayed at home for half a month, my skin would turn white again, so I didn't care. After the summer vacation ended and school started soon, I wore a blue shirt under my school uniform. When Nathan saw it, he raised his voice exaggeratedly, oh my God, Brian, your skin is so dark and you're wearing this blue. Don't you think it's funny? No, I'm dying of laughter. How can you be a prince like this? How can there be such a dark prince? I think you look more like a little black dog, He and several boys laughed together. Ellie seemed to find it funny too, with her lips curled up. At that moment, a huge sense of helplessness and shame overwhelmed me. I just felt the blood rushing to the top of my head and my fists clenched. Amid their laughter, I picked up the water cup and splashed it on his face. Nathan was stunned and wiped his wet face frantically. He was actually wearing makeup, which was a little stained by the water. Cough cough cough, what are you doing? Are you sick? Oh my God, I imitated his speech. Last school, you wore double eyelid stickers and lipstick. No wonder you're not a prince. You're here to sell your smiles, right? An actor. Several girls frowned and stopped me, led by Ellie, who snatched the water cup from my hand. Brian, apologize. She lowered her head and looked down at me, frowning and saying coldly. My eyes turned red and I stared at her. Didn't you hear what he said to me? He said I was like a dog. Let's put things in perspective. You've already cursed back. Now you have to apologize for throwing water on him. Admit your mistakes. Be obedient and don't throw a tantrum, she said as a matter of course. Apologize. Nathan won't bother with you. I sneered and said, you. Ellie's eyes widened and she slapped me hard. I didn't go to class that day and went straight home. I rushed into the room, searched the whole house frantically, messing up the bookshelves, wardrobes, and lockers. I took a big cardboard box and found all the things that Ellie had given me since I was a child and threw them all in. It filled up a whole box. To make sure nothing was missing, I picked up the cardboard box, rushed downstairs, and threw everything into the trash can. After doing all this, my parents hadn't come back yet, so I called my mom. Hello. Brian, what's wrong? Mom, when you come back today, go talk to Uncle Ellie and Aunt Ellie. Let me tell you that Ellie and I have severed our friendship. And, I said coldly, from today on, Ellie is not allowed to set foot in my house. Tell her to get out of here as far as she can. After my mother came home, she looked at the slap mark on my face anxiously and angrily. I told her about what happened during this period. My mother's veins popped out when she heard it. She turned around and knocked on Ellie's door. Aunt Ellie was still very confused. My mother didn't say a word and explained everything in detail, how Ellie slapped me hard, how she watched the transfer student verbally bullying me and laughing at me for a long time without taking any action, and how she stood in front of the other person to help him in the end. Aunt Ellie's face turned pale and blue. In fact, the relationship between our two families has been very good for so many years, but today, a rift appeared because of me. My mother didn't blame me but was gentle. Our Brian cannot be bullied by anyone. No matter what choice you make, Mom and Dad support you. The grievance and sadness that had been suppressed for a long time burst out. My nose was sore, and I hugged my mother and cried. After Ellie came home in the evening, she must have seen the things I threw away in the trash can. She knocked on the door angrily. Brian, come out and let's talk. I opened the door and was greeted by Ellie's frosty face. Why did you throw away all the things I gave you? What's it got to do with you? I looked at her indifferently. The mark of the slap in the morning was still on my face. Ellie did not hold back. My side face was bruised and swollen, and the finger marks were clearly visible. Not only did it not get lighter with time, but it became more and more serious. Ellie's expression changed. She stared at the marks on my face in a daze. After a long while, she said blankly, how could it be so serious? Then she reached out to touch me again. I took a step back with a blank expression. I rarely get hurt. In the past, whenever I got bumped or bruised, I would complain to Ellie. In fact, I'm not afraid of pain. I'm a bit thick-skinned. Sometimes I take several days to find out if I have a scratch on my body. I just want to act like a spoiled child in front of the person I like. On the contrary, Ellie said that I was weak and delicate, but in fact she enjoyed the feeling of being relied on by me. But now, I won't accompany you anymore. Ellie had never seen me so cold. For a moment, she was a little unbelievable. I didn't mean it, Brian. It's just that you cursed like that. I was angry for a moment. I interrupted her, since you are here, let's talk it out. From today on, we will pretend that we don't know each other. Please call me by my full name in the future. Don't talk to me when we meet at school. Don't knock on my door like you did tonight next time." After saying that, I was about to close the door. Ellie grabbed my hand and stared at me, her expression changed from guilt to anger and confusion. "Is it that serious? Brian, if you are angry because I hit you, I will apologize to you. Don't you think you are very extreme? Have you ever thought about what to do if you regret it in the future?" "I won't regret it." "Why?" She suppressed her anger and said, "Just because I accidentally slapped you." "Yes, just because of a slap." I said very solemnly, "Okay, since you insist on doing this, then it's as you wish." Ellie laughed in anger and slammed the door before leaving. The next day, Ellie and Nathan announced in class that they were officially dating. I was not surprised. Now that I think about it, there were actually signs all along. When Nathan first transferred here, he quickly got along well with the girls in the class because of his cheerful and straightforward personality, but he rarely played with boys. In his words, "Oh, I only like to play with girls. It's easier to play with girls than with boys. No one will say bad things about me behind my back. Boys are ugly, dirty, and not polite. I can't stand it." Because of his remarks, all the boys in the class didn't like him. Seeing this, Nathan pouted at the girls and said helplessly, I understand. I shouldn't have said that about them. This has offended them badly. Oh, I'm sure we'll be ostracized by the boys' clique again. Forget it, I'm used to it." Just like that, we were stuck in a dilemma because he obviously didn't want to play with us and said that we were too thoughtful, yet no boy had ever harmed him. Then he accused us of isolating him and forming a clique to ostracize him. After I got home, I couldn't help complaining to my parents. "Brian, Mom understands how you feel. Mom has met this kind of person before. If you meet someone like that, don't pay attention to him, don't be influenced by him, and don't make close friends with him." Ellie happened to be at my house. Hearing this, her handsome face turned cold. She is the kind of person who rarely discusses others in private. She couldn't stand our behavior. "Uncle, Aunt, Brian, it's not good to say this about others behind their backs." My parents and I were very embarrassed and fell silent. I later found out that she had established a deep friendship with Nathan since I don't know when. Nathan had good English grades and sat in front of Ellie. He often volunteered to tutor Ellie, who was poor in English. I used to do this. Half a month after Nathan transferred here, he naturally blended in. Nathan could also play basketball and got along well with the girls, many of whom were Ellie's best friends, so they naturally became closer. Ellie's impression of him also changed. She used to laugh at other students for no reason, but on the first day of his transfer, she saw a warm-hearted, cheerful, and somewhat straightforward boy. Ellie, who usually rejected boys who were always around her, quickly accepted Nathan's presence. During class, she passed notes to Nathan and laughed out loud as if no one was around. After school, Nathan carried the smiling Ellie on the back seat of his bicycle and joked with a group of girls. I used to feel sad and lost because of this, but I always comforted myself that they were just ordinary friends. I thought Ellie liked me. Facts have proved that I was really self-indulgent and overestimated my own importance. Ellie and I were in a serious relationship, not like some people who cling to others in the name of childhood sweethearts and give themselves away for free. Nathan sat on Ellie's lap and said with a smile. He then said meaningfully, "By the way, although I know you like to tell tales behind our backs, I still hope that some classmates won't report our relationship to the teacher." That seems very uncultured. Ellie did not comment. Some people in the class gave their blessings, and some secretly watched my face. Ellie and I were childhood sweethearts. Almost everyone knew that I liked her. In the whole class, Ellie was the only girl I was close to, and originally, I was the only one around her. My desk mate looked at me worriedly, but I didn't even raise my head and kept reading. The atmosphere was a little awkward for a while. Ellie snorted coldly and turned her eyes away from me. After that, their relationship became closer and closer. During class, they secretly passed notes under the table. Ellie sometimes laughed out loud as if no one was around. They had lunch together. Nathan tried to grab the chicken nuggets from Ellie's plate. Ellie looked helpless but indulgent. After school, Ellie sat on the back seat of Nathan's bicycle, her hands tightly around his waist, just like an inseparable couple. After all, it had been 10 years. At first, I couldn't help feeling uncomfortable, but I got used to it quickly. Just when I thought we would never have any connection again, Ellie stopped me at the school gate after class. "Brian," her tone was heavy and her expression was complicated like anger and joy. I couldn't understand. "Nathan asked for sick leave today," she said, looking at me. I didn't react for a moment. "Does this have anything to do with me? What's wrong?" Seeing this, Ellie said bluntly, "What did you say to him?" I was stunned for a moment and said briefly, "What could I say to him? I've never taken the initiative to talk to him. I'm not the type who likes to chat. What's more, people like Nathan make me uncomfortable just by looking at them for a second. As long as he doesn't mess with me, I won't talk to him for a year. What could I possibly say to him?" Ellie's eyes were full of distrust, and she questioned, "He was fine when I sent him home last night, but he took a sick leave today. I called to ask what happened, and he just cried and said he was sorry and asked you not to be angry anymore. Tell me the truth, what did you say to him? Did you hit him? Are you sick? I don't want to argue anymore." I pushed her away and wanted to leave. A strong force came from behind. Ellie grabbed my wrist and stared at me like a beast catching its prey. "Brian, I know you're not happy that we're in a relationship, but you don't have to be like this. Have you forgotten that you were the one who suggested we pretend not to know each other? No matter how jealous you are now, you can't." She wanted to say something but paused again. After a while, she whispered, "As long as you apologize to me, we'll pretend that nothing ever happened. We're still fine." Ellie's tone was a little anxious, as if she couldn't wait for my response. I interrupted her, unable to bear it any longer. "Are you sick? Let go. Who's apologizing to you? I said I didn't do anything. You two can be together all you want, I'm very happy for you. Even if 10 babies are born here, it has nothing to do with me. Got it? Let go." Ellie's face turned ashen. She looked at me in disbelief, but her hands didn't move. Just as I was about to struggle, a hand pressed on Ellie's arm. "Classmate, it's not good to treat others like this." I looked in the direction of the voice and saw a girl in a school uniform, about the same age as us, Diana. I subconsciously said, "Diana is a senior in our school. She and I were once members of the team that represented our school in the provincial mathematics competition. However, we didn't have much communication at that time and were not familiar with each other. I can remember her because her face is so unforgettable. Why is she here?" Seeing my puzzled look, Diana shifted her gaze to me and winked cunningly, then she exerted force on her hand. Ellie's face gradually became ugly. I took the opportunity to break free and ran away without looking back. On Wednesday, I felt a little uncomfortable in physical education class, but I didn't pay much attention. Under the teacher's command, I ran laps with my classmates. Boys and girls ran separately, the boys ran first while the girls waited on the side. As I was running, I suddenly felt everything go black, and my limbs became numb and weak. Only then did I realize I had hypoglycemia, but it was too late. I stumbled and knelt down on the track in embarrassment as a burst of exclamations rose around me. Soon, footsteps approached quickly, a hand firmly wrapped around my arm and pulled me up. It was Ellie. "You have hypoglycemia. Did you not eat well again? You're still running in this state. Can you take some responsibility for yourself? Does it hurt? I'll take you to the infirmary." She kept nagging in my ear. I was already annoyed from the fall, and the stares from my classmates made me even more upset. I struggled hard and tried to get my arm out. "Don't touch me. I can walk by myself." She growled, "Is this the time to be angry with me? Can you take care of yourself? I'll take you to the infirmary and leave right after that. You'll be relieved, right?" I laughed out of anger. I didn't understand. Was hypoglycemia a serious disease? Just find a place to sit for a while. Am I dying? Must she take me to the infirmary? Ellie gritted her teeth. After a long pause, she squeezed out a few words from between her teeth. You have to be so ungrateful. I looked at her calmly. If you insist on thinking that way, then I can't help it. Ellie shook me off and strode away without looking back. There were not many people in the infirmary. There was only one student sitting on a bed, Diana. When she saw me, her eyes lit up and she smiled. Hi, classmate Brian, hello. What a coincidence. Are you in the infirmary too? I nodded at her nonchalantly. Then I realized Diana was injured, and it was much more serious than my minor fall. Her knee was wrapped in a thick layer of gauze, and blood was seeping through it. The white gauze had turned red. Noticing my gaze, she looked down and scratched her head embarrassedly. Oh, there's a piece of ground lifted up on the playground. I didn't notice it and fell while playing basketball. It's not a big deal, just a flesh wound. How about you? Are you okay? I seem to recall Diana was the captain of the school's women's basketball team and quite famous at school. The bloody gauze gave me a toothache, and I couldn't help but soften my attitude toward her. I'm fine, just hypoglycemia. Have a good rest. Diana nodded vigorously with a bright smile. It was impossible to tell she was seriously injured. In the next few days, because of my hypoglycemia and Diana's injured knee, we met in the infirmary during the morning break every day. As time passed, we became more familiar with each other. Diana was a bit outgoing but had a cheerful and gentle personality. She was very considerate of others' emotions and made people feel relaxed when around her. One day, Diana sat on the hospital bed and looked at me a little embarrassedly. Student Brian, I think our friendship can still develop further. What do you think? I was shocked and quickly waved my hand to refuse, but she didn't give up. After a week, when we no longer had to go to the infirmary, she came to see me during every big break, sometimes with candy, sometimes with my favorite milk. When she came, she would sit near me and wouldn't leave, chattering endlessly. The boys around me were always eager to give her their seats. Gradually, rumors spread that Diana, a senior in the third year of high school, and her sophomore junior were in love. Everyone thought we were dating. I denied it, but others looked at me with knowing eyes, as if saying, if you don't want to admit it, then don't admit it. Anyway, everyone knows. At that moment, a sharp clanging sound suddenly rang out in the classroom, and we looked in the direction of the noise. Ellie had dropped a cup. Her face was pale, and she took a long time to react. Slowly, she lowered her head to pick up the pieces. As she was picking them up, Nathan exclaimed, Ellie, your hand. Then I realized her finger was cut. Bright red blood flowed down. She stared at her hand in a daze, not knowing what she was thinking. Ellie, I have paper. Come here and I'll bandage it for you. Nathan pulled her hand, but Ellie broke free. In full view of everyone, she actually walked toward me. The wound was very deep, but she seemed to feel no pain. Blood dripped to the ground as she walked in front of me, looked at me, and whispered, I'm hurt. Brian, can you give me a band-aid? I looked at her quietly. I always carried band-aids. Ellie knew that. When Ellie was a child, she often fought for me. Boys in elementary school put things in my bag and desk to scare me. In junior high, a girl in my class liked me, but after I rejected her, she spread rumors about me having a promiscuous relationship and accepting gifts from girls. Ellie beat them up one by one until no one dared to talk nonsense about me again. Once, the girl who spread the rumors called some friends, followed Ellie after school, and pushed her in the corridor. The corridor had floor-to-ceiling windows. Ellie was caught off guard, smashed the window, and fell to the ground with glass shards all over her. Fortunately, it was the first floor. She wasn't seriously injured, but both arms were cut by glass. When I found her, her uniform was already soaked in blood. Her face was twisted in pain, but she still gritted her teeth and told me it was fine. I cried until I could barely see, watching her wounds continue to ooze blood. From that day on, I always carried band-aids with me. Though I later started solving my own problems and never told Ellie again, I still feared she would get hurt because of me. However, this habit has remained until now. Ellie complained that I was making a fuss, but I saw the smile in her eyes. I know she actually enjoyed it a lot. But when Nathan transferred to our school, he saw the band-aid that fell out of my school bag and told Ellie that it was childish for a grown-up to use blue band-aids. Ellie smiled and nodded after hearing that. I pulled myself out of my memories and shook my head gently at Ellie. "I won't give you a band-aid anymore," I said, "never again." Ellie didn't seem surprised, and the color drained from her face. She laughed as if mocking herself. "I got it." Her eyes dimmed like falling stars. After school, Nathan blocked me at the back door of the classroom and we talked. He didn't laugh this time, and his expression was very serious. I was really annoyed. Why did they all come to me? Am I a part of their play? They talked about their love and I went to my school. We obviously had nothing in common. Why did this one stop me today and that one want to talk to me tomorrow? Nathan looked at me solemnly. After a while, he said, "I really don't understand what's so special about you that makes her think so much about you." I almost sneered out loud. "There's no need to beat around the bush. Just say what you want to say." His face turned ugly for a moment and he stared at me hatefully. "You're very proud, right? Although Ellie is with me now, she still likes you in her heart. She's almost gotten depressed seeing you dating another girl. She's ignored me these past few days. I really don't understand. What's wrong with a hypocritical prince like you? She was just emotional and slapped you accidentally, but you broke up with her directly. Don't you just think that she made you lose face? Just because your vain self-esteem is damaged, you can abandon your childhood sweetheart who grew up with you. People like you are simply selfish and petty." Nathan said a lot in one breath, as if he were really standing up for someone who was wronged. I listened quietly and said, "There's no need to test me. I won't make peace with her." He froze for a moment, and I smiled. "It's embarrassing to be sent by your girlfriend to test your childhood sweetheart's feelings. But don't worry," I said. "Pretend we don't know each other and we'll be strangers for the rest of our lives. I, Brian, always keep my word and never pick up trash that has been thrown away. Go back and tell Ellie I still say the same thing. Get out of here, the farther the better." Nathan's expression was extremely complicated for a moment, filled with guilt, the humiliation of being exposed, and confusion. After I left, his voice came from behind, with a hint of unwillingness. "Brian, just because of a slap? Just because she slapped you?" "Yes, just because of a slap," I answered again, still the same answer. At night, I received a strange call. Without thinking too much, I answered it. "Brian." It was Ellie. I guess she used a new phone card. "Are you done?" After saying that, I wanted to hang up. "Wait, listen to me," Ellie said. I was silent. I read the diary, came a hoarse voice from the other side of the phone. My brain went blank for a moment, but I quickly reacted. Ellie said half of what I said was from the diary I wrote. I only have one diary, which Ellie gave me when I was 10 years old. I loved it like a treasure. From then on, I developed the habit of writing a diary, and I have been writing for many years. That diary carries my love over many years. I recorded every detail of my time with Ellie. I liked every moment with her. I even fantasized that when we got married in the future, I would give her this diary. It was my long confession. Didn't I throw it away? I was speechless. That day, I picked it up again. Ellie's voice trembled. "I'm sorry, Brian, I read your diary. I didn't expect you to like me so much. I'm sorry, I've been ignoring your love. In fact, I regretted it the day I hit you. For so many years, I didn't just treat you as a younger brother, Brian." I interrupted her and asked, "On which day did you pick it up?" The voice on the other end stopped abruptly. It's been many days, right? I laughed. Then why did you call me tonight to tell me all this? Is it because you just opened it today? Her voice was pale and weak. Because you fell in love during this period of time, you had a sense of crisis. You felt that your status was really threatened, so today, after a few months, you suddenly had the urge to condescend to open that gray diary, right, Brian? No, I didn't listen to her explanation and said softly, Ellie, you should know that delayed apologies and confessions not only fail to redeem the past, but also make the remaining memories become inappropriate. That diary is meaningless now. You'd better throw it away. Don't call me anymore and don't look for me anymore. It's really annoying. I hung up the phone. My birthday is in a week. Mom and Dad are holding a birthday party and asked me to invite my classmates. I didn't want to invite Ellie and the others at first, but thinking that they had been very well behaved recently, there was no need to make extra trouble, so I handed out invitations to everyone equally. Diana also shamelessly asked for one from me. On the day of the birthday party, I attended in a formal dress. Nathan also came, wearing a suit, with the delicately made-up Ellie in his arms. When he saw me, he hugged Ellie's arm tightly, and his whole body was almost perfectly fitted with hers. Ellie had a blank expression on her face. I didn't say hello to them and walked straight toward the elders. I was very happy at the birthday party, but also a little tired. Halfway through, I walked to the terrace alone, blowing the night breeze, wanting to rest for a while. At this time, I heard footsteps behind me. Although I didn't want to admit it, after all, we have known each other for so many years, I recognized her footsteps at once. That person was behind me, with a hoarse voice. Can we chat, Brian? I turned around. Seeing Ellie's eyes were very red. Of course, I had no expression on my face, but if possible, I hoped it would be the last time. She turned pale and laughed at herself. Do we have to be like this, Brian? No matter how much I beg you now, you will never forgive me. I looked away. I really don't understand. Haven't you always liked me? You know I like you too. We were almost confessing. Why did you treat me like this? She finally said it, and it was the first time she admitted that she liked me too, but in such a situation. Just because of that slap, just like when she first asked this question, I still nodded without hesitation. Yes, just because of a slap. That day, I heard that Ellie didn't simply lose control of her emotions and slap me. That day, I heard that one day before that incident, I watched Ellie drive Nathan home again. I felt uneasy and followed them. Ellie and her brothers took Nathan to a hot pot restaurant. They ate and talked about something. He has been following me since elementary school. Isn't that the one? Childhood sweethearts. Then he still likes you now, for sure. In the class, he only talks to Ellie, a girl. He has been pursuing her for 9 years, but Ellie still doesn't agree. She doesn't like him. My heart tensed up. Ellie laughed and said casually, I like her, but I don't really want to be in a relationship. It feels too petty. Trouble. There was an uproar. That's awesome. Oh my God, you keep me hanging like this, aren't you afraid that I won't like you in the future? How is that possible? That kind of boy will stick to you once he likes you, and you can't get rid of him. At this time, Nathan's voice with a smile sounded, yes, I know boys like him very well. He likes blue and has to buy blue everything. He likes to rely on others. No matter how Ellie treats him, as long as you treat him a little bit better, he will always like Ellie. You see, even if I am so close to Ellie now, he still comes up to me with eager eyes. I guess, even if I slap him in public and apologize later, it will be okay. Is this true? So brainless. Ellie, do you want to try it? Slap him, boys like him will cry to death on the spot. I held my breath. In the noisy hot pot restaurant, only Ellie's voice was particularly clear, just give it a try. Ellie was extremely panicked, her hands trembling slightly. No, Brian, listen to me. I just said that to save face. I didn't think so. Don't deny it. It's embarrassing. Ellie, I looked at her and said softly, didn't you always say that discussing others behind their backs is a bad behavior? Look at yourself, how good are you? Ellie's face lost all color in an instant. I sighed deeply. It was very strange. I was very angry and sad at that time, but now I feel nothing. It's as if I was watching someone else's business. I know you like me, but I also know that you have been shaken, right? There was a moment when you thought Nathan was also very good, and you liked him very much. You liked him so much that you wanted to act very powerful in front of him. This is normal. Ellie, you like me because we grew up together, I am very beautiful and I love you with all my heart, so you have feelings for me, but in the final analysis, we are not suitable. You think I am beautiful, but it doesn't stop you from thinking that I am a weak prince syndrome and that I like blue very much and I am a. It's not as good as you who can stand up to the public and stand tall. So in the end, you will still be attracted to someone like Nathan. Without Nathan, there will be the next person, the next boy who is carefree, different from other boys but equally beautiful. It's just that you shouldn't step on me to show yourself. I sneered, how dare you hit me? Don't you know that no one has ever hit me? Who are you? Tell me, Ellie, why do you dare to hit me? Ellie's face was gray and lost. I had predicted the darkest, most obscure and most selfish desires in her heart. She knew that she was no longer able to refute. I looked at her steadily. Finally, she stood there in a daze, with a tear rolling down her cheek. Brian, don't you love me anymore? I haven't loved you, I said without hesitation. What? Ellie's lips turned pale and she looked at me blankly. I looked straight into her eyes and said frankly, I used to like you, I have always liked you, since elementary school. My feelings no longer need any of your actions. It grows day by day because this feeling lives in my beautiful fantasy about you, so it doesn't need your response as long as I am there, it can exist, but I gave up not long ago. Why? She said as if sleepwalking, because my face still hurts when I see you. I have no expression. Ellie's face finally lost all color. Later, Ellie and Nathan broke up. I don't know the reason. Nathan applied for a transfer to another class soon after. Ellie seemed like a different person. Her former brothers no longer interacted with her. She only followed me wholeheartedly. She bought me my favorite breakfast every morning, helped me grab the most popular dishes at noon, and carefully followed me after school, saying that she would protect me when I got home. It was as if we were back in elementary school. No, she treated me better than then. I asked her what she wanted to do. She shook her head and just looked at me silently with her sad eyes. In the end, she said that she just wanted to make it up to me and take good care of me. To be honest, she couldn't be driven away and no one could convince her. It was really annoying. When I was going home, my parents' company had a plan to send them abroad. It happened to be New York, my mother's hometown. We decided that I would transfer to another school before my senior year of high school and my family would move to New York. I didn't tell anyone about this decision in advance. I just sent it to a few familiar classmates on a weekend and said goodbye to them. Ellie was the last to know the news. I don't know how she did it. On the day she left, she followed our car for a long, long time. I was sitting in the passenger seat. I quietly stared at the rearview mirror, watching her running as hard as she could, stretching out her hand as if she was saying something, watching her heart-wrenching tears and pale face, don't go, please don't go, I haven't reached Brian yet. The wind was too strong, blowing away the last cry. In the end, the figure that had accompanied me for decades slowly fell, stood up, trembled, became smaller, 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 and finally only a blurry black dot was left, and then disappeared. Later, I occasionally heard about Ellie from my former classmates. Some said that she had never recovered and was decadent all day long. Some said that she had given up on herself and had changed boyfriends countless times. Some said that she had completely changed into a different person, burying herself in study all day long, as if she had already set her target university. I no longer paid attention to it. After the college entrance examination, I was admitted to a university in a seaside city, running towards my future full of expectations. Coincidentally, Diana and I were in the same school, and when she saw me, she pursued me passionately. In the first 2 years of college, every birthday, there would always be an anonymous courier sent to me. Sometimes it contained a handmade doll that I had mentioned once in my circle of friends, and sometimes it was the clothes I had been thinking about but had not bought. I accepted them all but didn't touch them. They were piled in a corner of the dormitory until my junior year. I accepted Diana's pursuit. At my girlfriend's strong request, I announced it on WeChat Moments. The annual gift-giving, rain or shine, stopped. It was good just like this. It should have stopped a long time ago. This is the end. The end.